Low self-esteem and grandiosity. They make strange bedfellows, don't you think? Hi, I'm Cams. I'm an alcoholic. Low self-esteem has plagued me for most of my life. In fact, possibly even all of it. Who can tell? But it's an issue that's been holding me back for a long time. And grandiosity, well, what does that mean? It's the idea of thinking that you're better than everyone else. In a recent video I talked about judgmentalism, which you can see by clicking on this link. And this is where the grandiosity comes into the picture for me. I would feel that it was almost my duty to judge everybody. It became like a compulsion, like a job. And it's a very tiresome place. It's a very tiring place to be. It's exhausting. It takes up lots of energy that really could be used in a much better way elsewhere. And there's a saying in AA which I always enjoy. I find it quite easy to picture in my mind, which is the idea that the alcoholic is in the gutter, looking down on everybody. I think that sums it up really well. In other words, you've got low self-esteem, you feel worthless, and yet you still feel in some ways that you're special and different. And this is a phrase that takes me back to my AA meetings back in Luxembourg, where I got sober in 2005. There was a guy there that used to share a lot about the idea of thinking that he was different and interesting, and that the rules didn't apply to him, you know. And I could relate to that really well because, you know, I think if I'm honest, I still do feel that sometimes now. I feel that I'm different and that the normal rules don't apply. And one of the things I'm becoming much more aware of is when the judgmentalism is coming into my day, when I'm out and about, when I see people. It's like a constant thing. It's a habit. It's conditioned. I don't know, call it what you will, but I'm aware of it now, and so when I feel it starting to happen, I put a stop to it. And it's just one of the tools that I'm practicing now in all my affairs, because this is how AA works. When you get to step 12, we continue to practice these principles in all our affairs, and that's a thing that I hadn't been doing. And this is why coming into making content about recovery and going into the coaching business of helping other people to maintain sobriety and to grow personal growth, business growth, whatever it might be within sobriety, it's changing my life in a massive way, because, you know, the idea of the 12 steps, I know that they work, but it's a bit of a challenging thing to practice principles like that in all your affairs. And I think for me it's partly because of the way it's worded in the big book. It's also partly to do with the fact that I haven't been attending meetings for quite some time, and when I do attend it's on Zoom, and I don't know, the Zoom meetings are good, don't get me wrong, they're very valuable, but it's just not the same. However, having said that, I wasn't attending actual meetings either before the pandemic kicked off. So I wasn't practicing the principles pretty much at all. And now I'm finding that making content, talking about my story, is really helping me to feel like I am practicing the principles in all my affairs. And my behaviour is beginning to change now. So I'm taking better care of myself, or I'm becoming aware of when I'm not, and trying to systematise it with routines and habits. So for example, in the mornings now, for the past 2 weeks, I've been rising at 7, walking the dogs, so I'm getting exercise. The sun is already up at 7, So there's daylight, so I'm getting some daylight coming into my brain. But the idea of getting sunlight into your brain is incredibly important for all the chemicals and to wake you up properly for circadian rhythms and that sort of thing. And I'm doing that in the mornings without walking about with my AirPods in. So I'm not listening to podcasts, I'm not listening to audiobooks, I'm just walking in nature, being alone with my thoughts, you know. And then I get home, make a cup of coffee. I try to be mindful of the coffee. In other words, be grateful for the fact that I have access to this first cup of coffee in the morning. It's a magical moment. I'm making it a magical moment because it is actually a magical moment, but I'm coming to see it as such, which is helping me to appreciate it. And gratitude is massive. It's something that we all should practice, something I'm working on every day. So, cup of coffee, journaling. I've been journaling since 1986, right? Some of those entries are embarrassing to read because I was 14. I mean, come on. But it's a habit that I've been doing on and off since I was 14, and it's something that I know to be incredibly valuable for me. And I have got back into the habit of doing it every morning. So when I get home, cup of coffee, half an hour of journaling. I've set the goal of writing to be 750 words minimum, and I'm doing it online. I'm doing it in an app called Day One, which has a word count. I mean, I do love stationery, I love fountain pens, I love writing, but this is just how it's working for me now. With my daily journaling in Day One, 750 words, I'm making sure that I include affirmations, that I include gratitude. And it's really, really helping me to go into my day when 9 o'clock hits, feeling like I've already taken care of myself. Also the idea of the low self-esteem, it's helping with that because it's making me feel like I am looking after myself, which gives rise to a feeling of self-worth, which then goes into my day. And when I start working on my business from 9 onwards, I feel good about myself, you know. And that's an incredibly valuable thing. So the grandiosity, yep, I am aware of it. I'm working on it. I know that it's tied in some ways to judgmentalism. I'm sure that it's tied to other things as well. Kindness to other people, kindness to myself. These are things that I'm practicing now, and I'm already seeing the rewards. If you would like to hear more about this kind of stuff, subscribe to my channel because I will be building in public. I will be talking about what I'm going through at the moment, how I'm building my business in public, how I am working on my recovery and becoming a much more serene person. Finally. Not before time. So if you would like to join me on that journey, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you with me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, you're not alone.